Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has now been open for over a month in Disneyland and has been open to the general public, no reservations required, for several weeks. And people are starting to notice something. Those feared massive crowds storming the land are nowhere to be seen. You can walk right up and grab yourself a blue milk, although some suggest that wouldn't be advisable. The one ride that is open in the land, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, was built to hinge off the popularity of Solo, a Star Wars story, yikes, and while it does appear to be a fun, solid adventure ride that pushes the interactivity community-based ride concept to a whole new level, the fact that it's being mostly compared to Star Tours, a ride Imagineering invented 30 years ago, really hasn't boded well for what was billed to be a groundbreaking experience. Not to mention the fact that there's currently only one mission you can go on, despite the many Disney has teased. The highlights of the land, the cantina, building a $200 lightsaber, and a $100 droid, have costly barriers to entry that really make you question what that park ticket you paid for gets you in this land. Add in the fact that many pass holders are currently blocked out for the season in Disneyland, which at its core is a pass holder dominated park, and what you've got yourself is a scary lack of crowds in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But despite all of this, I think there's a good chance this will all turn around. That's right, because what many critics are omitting from their comments on soft Galaxy's Edge attendance so far is the fact that currently this is an incomplete land. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland and Walt Disney World, may be perhaps the biggest game-changer attraction in a century. In a century where we've had things like the Forbidden Journey in the Wizarding World, Flight of Passage in Avatar Land at the Animal Kingdom, that's a big claim, but from everything we know so far, this attraction sounds almost unbelievable. In the pre-show, you'll be on a Rebel ship. I've always wanted to see Disney do a simulated ship pre-show. That's going to be so cool. You're then going to be in a life-size hangar on a First Order Star Destroyer with 60+ Stormtrooper animatronics. Somewhere around there, you're going to be getting in a trackless vehicle where you're going to be part of the story. More Stormtrooper animatronics fire at you. You're going to be in an interrogation room with Kylo Ren. The whole attraction is multi-storied, where not only do you have these giant life-size AT-AT walkers and the hangar room being several stories tall, but you'll also be traveling to a second level on the Star Destroyer via themed elevators. Safe to say it's going to be out of this world, literally. Disney opened Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland without this one day to be iconic attraction, and Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World will be opening without the attraction as well when the land opens on August 29th, leaving us all to wonder, when are we getting this attraction? And then this week, finally, Disney dropped the dates for when the attraction will be opening on both coasts, and to say it surprised some people would be a massive understatement, because in Walt Disney World, the Rise of the Resistance attraction will be opening on December 5th, 2019, which is actually a pretty good date. Personally, I was hoping for November, but we knew if the land had opened with the attraction, with the Rise of Resistance, it would all open late fall, and believe it or not, December 5th is indeed considered late fall on the Mickey calendar. But Disneyland's Rise of Resistance attraction, which had a several-month head start on construction over Walt Disney World, isn't opening till January 17th, 2020. That's right, despite Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge opening in May and Walt Disney World's not opening till August, despite all of that, somehow the e-ticket attraction in both of these lands will be opening earlier in Walt Disney World than in Disneyland, which has led to everyone asking, how could this be? Disneyland's Rise of Resistance was built out well ahead of Walt Disney World's, and the answer right now is just a theory, but a very believable theory, which is in building the Rise of Resistance attraction in Disneyland and Walt Disney World, at some point, likely at the start of this year, I believe, a problem was discovered that would need to be fixed. Many speculated it's something to do with the trackless vehicle you'll be on, which is much more unprecedented as a technology and less tried and true as compared to all the other elements in this attraction. The only problem is, by the time this issue was discovered, whatever the problem was would require infrastructure to be fixed, taken out, and redesigned in Disneyland. They'd have to hit the undo button in Disneyland and take things out that were already installed, whereas Walt Disney World just had a change in what they had to do next. All of this resulting in Disneyland's Rise of Resistance construction time overall being longer than that of Walt Disney World's, and understandably so, given Disneyland's had to be the guinea pig, the new development, whereas Walt Disney World's was just the carbon copy. And as a result, Walt Disney World's Rise of Resistance attraction will be opening a month earlier than Disneyland's. And if you're theorizing what this quote problem tech could be, there are a few rumors out there, one of which is that whatever trackless tech had been planned on being used was not working properly, and as a result, they had to switch to a more industry standard form of ride vehicle tech, wire guidance, like is used on the Tower of Terror. Although I think that's completely false. I do not believe this rumor, and the reason I think it's wrong is because we know that Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway opening spring 2020 2020 in Walt Disney World, the one we got to be the guinea pigs on, like Disneyland was for Rise of the Resistance, with the Runaway Railway to be cloned over in Disneyland, opening 2022 over there, that ride is going to require this trackless tech. Wire guidance likely wouldn't work because each of the Runaway Railway cars are going to behave differently and then come back together into a single train formation. At different points, they're going to be in different rooms and crisscrossing and all sorts of stuff as far as their paths on the attraction go, which leads us to another rumor of what the issue might be. Remember how at the start I said the ride is going to be multi-level? That elevator down to the bottom floor is likely going to be a drop sequence on the attraction. And if this ride is trackless and receiving signals via Wi-Fi, there may be a connection lost during that sequence in the elevator, in which case that would require more infrastructure in order to fix. For all we know, and probably likely, the problem is neither of these theories and rumors that people have been talking about. People on the project are very tight-lipped, so it's very hard to get anything sort of close to official or credible as far as what the issue is. Let me know what you guys think about the Rise of the Resistance opening dates and everything going on here. CEO Bob Iger said at the annual shareholders meeting that this is one of the most ambitious attractions they've ever done, and the way he said it, in my opinion, kind of hinted at there being some technological holdups with the attraction that were needing to be fixed. Either way, this is the Disney we want. The Disney that will delay the opening of an attraction because of how ambitious and groundbreaking it has the potential to be. That puts the tech and guest experience over what quarter they might start to see guest revenue returns on it. And I have to say, that is something I am very proud to see. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe with that notification bell on so you don't miss any of the latest Disney theme park news. Thank you so much for watching. From the Mickey Views Magic Studio, I'm Brayden. Have a magical day.